Hello everyone, Elite For Yo here, and today I wanted to cover three of the best sets to invest in for Scarlet and Violet, and three of the worst sets to invest in. And I have a bunch of different reasons for each one. It's not all just related to the price, which may seem like the obvious thing, simply because the price will fluctuate the further away we get to the sets. So the more recent a set is, typically the prices, are a little more all over the place, not really that reliable. So you do need distance from when the release is of the set to get a more accurate picture. So let's go through it on here. Three of the best, three of the worst, looking at Scarlet and Violet. And if you enjoy what I'm doing here, please give me a like and subscribe. And starting us off with what is most likely the number one set to invest in for Scarlet and Violet, it's the 151 set. Pretty obvious. It really taps into that nostalgia factor quite significantly, having some of the most popular Pokemon from the original set here. And if you look at the prices, they do typically do obviously reflect that. Of course, you got the great Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur topping out the 1, 2, and 3 there. But you also get some other nice looks here. You get the legendary birds, you get Alakazam, and you get some of the amazing illustration rares for the different starter Pokemon forms. You get a little Erica right here. And besides just the starters, because obviously that's the big thing, the ultra rares for them as well, you also get some of the other popular Pokemon. Pikachu gets a little illustration rare here. You get some of the Mew ultra rare. And you even get, some of the less traditional, Ninetales right here, Dragonair over here. So a lot to like in the 151 set. And, it does lose some points because there are no booster boxes. So when you're buying it, you are focusing primarily on either the Elite Trainer box or the booster bundles. And the booster bundles are especially a good buy. Those are pretty hard to find now, I think. Just from what I've seen and what I've read online, very difficult to find. If you look right here, take a look at what it has on TCG Player. It has the booster bundle, at market price almost $40 for 6 packs. So, that's a tricky buy. Tricky to find, but very valuable if you can. Otherwise, you're looking at the 151 Elite Trainer box. But certainly for the nostalgia factor, for the popular Pokemon factor, just the overall, how awesome the set is for collectors, both new and old. 151 kind of comes out as the top investment so far. And now looking at the worst investment, we're looking at Obsidian Flames. No real surprise there. And wow, has it really crashed. If the top card here is this cool Charizard, this full art Charizard right here, look at the market over the last year. We'll do 6 months, where it kind of topped off. It was hovering around that $60 mark, and then drop, and it's just kind of plummeted down here. This is a little rise here, and then a major drop. So again, still kind of a lot of fluctuation there. But overall, if your top chase card in a set isn't even $50, that's a big problem. And part of that is because it was printed to oblivion. Everyone was chasing it, so there was just so much of it on the market. And another fact is really that afterwards, there's just nothing else. You have a few of the other Charizards on here. You have the ultra rare and the hyper rare, but nothing too crazy or special, not really that appealing to a lot of people. And then you're looking at Pidgeot. If Pidgeot is your second best option for a big card in the set, you're really not gonna, you're gonna have a bad time. And that is the case. The second best card right now is under 20 bucks, Pidgeot EX, which is a really cool card, but sitting at about, $8 to $10. That's nothing. Scrolling down here, the illustration rares are just nothing to get excited about. Even this Scizor here is only a few bucks. Clayfa, really nothing great. Gita is the trainer card. It just isn't doing it. Scrolling down, Reverum, Houndour, even this cute Lechonk card is only a few dollars. So Obsidian Flames is a major stay away unless you can get it at like a super low price. And if I just scroll down here and get the sealed product price, let's just take a look what a booster box is going for. So it's around $100. I mean, that's not good. Not since, you know, after being $100, you can probably get it cheaper than that since it's launched. It's really not doing it any favors. So yeah, Obsidian Flames is a bust. Even with the Charizard card headlining it. Nope, not a good buy. Going back here to a set that is just continuing to climb, and one of my personal favorite sets from Scarlet and Violet is the Paldea Evolved. I'm really bullish on this. And not because it has a super chase card, which it does. It has the Magikarp illustration rare, very hard to pull, but really awesome, I guess. A lot of people love this card, and it has the Ionos. But really what appeals to me, and I think a lot of collectors and investors in this set, is the illustration rares. You're getting some really awesome ones. Raichu, Tyranitar, just, you know, scrolling down here, I love the Getsis one here. Skeledirge, you get Meowscarda, you get the starters on here. Grusha is cool. Sprigatito, all the different, you know, Fuecoco, $10, $15, going up and up and up. A lot of variety. No super duper heavy hitter other than the Magikarp and maybe the Iono, but the value is really spread out to the different illustration rares. And a lot of them are really cool. You know, even like look at this. This Meryl one is an $8 to $10 card. You know, this is something that like Obsidian Flames, like we just saw, does not have. No star power spread out. And it has the Squawkabilly, one of my favorite cards right here. I love this card, $10 card right here. So that, you know, a little bias towards that card as a special illustration rare. But, you know, a lot of variety in Paldea Evolved with those illustration rares. And yes, those illustration rares are the big cards that are kind of pulling value for these sets. And look, I keep going down here. I mean, Tinkatuff, $5 to $6 card. Tauros, a $5 to $6 card. So the value is there. You know, when the 20th highest value card, I'm just guessing here, is, you know, at least $5, that's awesome. That means there's a ton of spread variety out, and you also have the big heavy hitter, of course, sitting on top, that Magikarp, which, you know, from like I've touched upon this before, maybe a lot of reasons why the Magikarp has a lot of value. Maybe it's some market manipulation, maybe it's some supply demand, maybe it's a lot of desirability. Whatever it is, you see the rate jump up here over the last 3 months from almost 70 to eclipsing the $100 mark on there. So Paldea Evolved is at an affordable rate still, in my opinion. I just bought a couple for $120 on eBay. You definitely got to watch this one for when that price hits that lower part. And look, see, Paldea Evolved, it says right here it's about 130. You know, if you can get it for 120 or less, awesome. I think it's a good buy. It's going up. You know, it's not like other sets where it's stagnating or going down. It's going up, and I think it'll continue to climb. And so again, I wouldn't get it necessarily at 130 now, but take a look here. 3 months ago, it was sitting at 100, 106, and it's climbing. So that's a good indication of where the value is going. I probably wouldn't buy it now for 130, but if you can get it for sub 120, 115, I think that's a good mark. And I was able to get mine for about 120 after all fees. And I've seen it cheaper, but it sells out real fast on eBay. So definitely be mindful of that. Moving on here, we get to the base set. And it's not like there's necessarily anything wrong with base set. It's just kind of boring. You know, looking here, no heavy card here. The Miriam card has just kind of gone down in value. If you look over the last 6 months, it shot up here. People were really speculating on it, that it would appreciate a lot, and it hasn't. It's just dropped. Rose a little bit, but I mean, nothing really crazy here. It's not eclipsing $40, and it's sitting at about 31. Gardevoir, nice card here. You know, Miraidon, but you know, I'm always dubious when you get like a trainer card or an item card as some of the more valuable cards, because that isn't going to last. That's only when they're relevant in the meta. So that always kind of becomes suspect to me. And if you scroll down here and you're taking a look with me, that's what you're seeing, right? Arvin again, The Miriam card is become cheap. It's just kind of clustered with these item and trainer supporter cards. So that's a problem. You look at the illustration rares, Ralt, Kirlia. I'm not sure they're super popular. Maybe Slowpoke is a nice one. I don't think the card's all that great though. Drowsy, Great Tusk. I don't think there's anything there. The Armorage is cool, but it's not the Ceruledge that everyone is waiting for, I think. So overall, yeah, base set. The base sets of the new generations are typically the weakest. That's kind of what we've just seen over the last few generations. They're not the ones to appreciate much. They're very much like the introductory to the new generation, so the value is not really there as much, and that's certainly the case here. No super heavy hitter chase cards at the top. Not much to really get too excited about. Take a look at the booster box price. Yeah, see, hovering around that $100 range, $95 to $100 range. Pretty typical what you would expect. Not one I would spend my money on. Again, if I had $100 to throw into something, it would not be this or Obsidian Flames. Certainly. Overall, just kind of a boring set. Nothing too crazy, nothing too exciting. Maybe in 10, 15 years, it'll be nostalgic for the kids who grew up with Scarlet and Violet as their first generation, but that's not something I'm willing to risk my money on. Moving on here, I had a really hard time of deciding between whether or not to choose Paldean Fates or Twilight Masquerade, but I'm going to go with Twilight Masquerade. And I'm doing that on here, and it's kind of surprising because it's such a fresh set, right? So new. It's only been out in a very limited time from when I'm making this video, so not a lot of time to get a ton of opinions on it. But if we just look at what is in the set, I think you'll see why it's a pretty big chase. And what this one has that the other ones don't necessarily have are those I guess they call them the waifu cards, Carmen and Perrin here, and they're already at really high value, both of them exceeding that $80-$90 almost, and they're pretty awesome to look at cards. But it also has a couple of other big things going for it. It has the Greninja, pretty cool Greninja. I don't love it, but I mean, look, it's already a $150 card, crazy. It's got the Eevee, very, very popular Eevee card right there. Scrolling down on here, you get some other mixture of not bad illustration cards, but I think the big thing that kind of shifts it a bit is the Ogerpon. Kind of an interesting card. I think some of the artwork on the Ogerpon, the hyper rare, their ultra rares, the two you're seeing on there, is really, really nice, really, really sharp. It is diluted though by the fact that there's so many Ogerpon cards. So unless you really want Ogerpon for some reason, and I actually do like Ogerpon, but unless you really are selecting it, it may be a bit of a harder sell for some people. But I still think it has good value. It does have these nice special illustration rares. It has this Blood Moon Ursaluna, which is an awesome card. So it's got some heavy hitters, right? It's got almost 6 cards at the $45+ range almost. That's a good sign. It's got this awesome Tatsugiri. I think this is a huge card. I don't really buy singles to invest in, but if I did, I'd have to check the pull rates again, but I love this card. This is my personal favorite card in the whole set, and the Blood Moon Ursaluna. You get this little Chansey card here, not bad. Again, you get another Carmen card right here. So still very new, so we can't really rely on the prices too much, like I said at the beginning of the video, although the prices do look good off the bat. But I like the top Pokemon available. That Greninja is going to be a really sick chase card for people. You got some of the waifu cards that I guess people, for whatever reason, really are interested in. And then you get the illustration rares, which are nice, like the Tatsugiri right there, the Eevee. Going to the second page on here, if it wants to load. Get some, get this other Greninja card. Infernape is cool. Tyranitar, the Iron Thorns, the Iron Thorns card is nice, Frostlass. So some of the illustration rares I think are going to hold up to more value than they're currently at. I think this Dipplin is really cool. This Applin right here is really, really cool. So some nice varied illustration rares. So the reason why I'm big on the Twilight Masquerade as my third top choice right now is because it has a very eclectic mix of value, both in its heavy chase cards, the waifu cards, some nice supporter, trainer, and item cards. It's got a focus Pokemon and Ogerpon, but really I come back to the illustration rares holding nice varied value there. So that's why I have Twilight Masquerade, though it's very early, as my third top choice. And coming in as my next or final not investment choice, I'm going to go with Paradox Rift, which, you know, Scarlet and Violet, I think, hasn't been as bad as maybe a lot of people are saying it is. But there's not a lot that jumps out as excitement other than the first three I've looked at. I think Temporal Forces is another good choice, but for my third and final bad choice, I'm just going to conclude it here on Paradox Rift. And if you look at the prices look pretty good, right? I mean, you know, you got no super duper chase card, right? So you're not getting any crazy chase card. And part of my issue with the set is it's not pulling on nostalgia. So if we go back to the Twilight Masquerade, this is big nostalgia. You got the Eevee, you know, yeah, Greninja's not that old, but it's not, you know, certainly not Gen 1 nostalgia, but it's pretty, you know, it's got some pullback hype there. But the problem with Paradox Rift is it doesn't have any of that. You know, you get Groudon, but you know, this Groudon card is cool. It's just one card. You know, are people really big on the Roaring Moon? You know, the Iron Valiant. Yeah, these are cool cards, but they don't have the nostalgia that like the 151 has for people. You know, they're alt forms of popular Pokemon, but you know, after you get the first three, you know, you're looking at this Iron Hands card, you're getting the Altaria, and yeah, the values currently are pretty good, you know, almost at 30 or up. I love this Garchomp. I'm a little surprised this one's that low, but it's kind of a safe set, in my opinion. Scrolling down here, you know, no big, I don't know. It's, you know, like, here's the problem. Obsidian Flames and base Scarlet and Violet are like the easy ones to say are bad. So after that, it's kind of tricky to find like a bad set. So I kind of feel bad putting Paradox Rift here, but, you know, it just doesn't really pop with as much as the others. You know, yeah, some of the value is currently here, but are you really telling me that the Sandy Shocks EX card is going to stay as a $9 to $10 card? I've never heard of someone saying, oh man, I love Goliosopod or Sandy Shocks. I don't see them holding up. So what I'm saying is it's not that the value in the cards isn't there currently. It's that 10 years from now, are people going to be like, oh man, I got to open up Paradox Rift. It's got that awesome Altaria card. You know, I don't see that, you know. I just don't. Parasol Lady, Professor Sada's Vitality, these are not cards that are going to be, you know, ones that people are searching for, hunting for. Goldango card right here is awesome. I love this, but overall, it's just nothing crazy. You know, it's kind of a safe, boring set as well. If I look at where the values are, sealed product, booster box currently sitting at, yeah, see, about $100. So nothing too crazy right there. So I wouldn't invest in Paradox Rift either, but maybe that actually works in the opposite, Mary. If other people are feeling like what I'm feeling and saying that Paradox Rift is just like an average set, and that's probably what I would say it is, maybe there's more value there for investment if less people are actually investing in it, right? So maybe that's another avenue to explore. Hard to say. But if I pull up right here and I'll zoom in and we just take a look at all of the Scarlet and Violet sets starting from the bottom right here, obviously not Crown Zenith, you know, it's kind of funny, right? It's almost like every other one is a good set, kind of. But in any case, the hardest one for me was definitely Paldean Fates. If there was like a tied for third best set, I would probably put Paldean Fates there. But the big reason I didn't include it in the top three, it would be the fourth best, is simply because it's a specialty set and it's hard to invest in, right, when there's no booster box. And it does have these really top heavy hitters. This Charizard is cool. I love the Mew card. This is one of my favorite cards in all of Scarlet and Violet, but it kind of dips down a bit from there. And it's just a difficult one to actually invest in because of its exclusivity for it being really the bundle booster bundled boxes. That's a mouthful of alliteration. Or, as I said, the ETB basically is what you're looking at. So just to recap on there, number one to invest in, looking at the 151 of English, that nostalgia is a huge factor. and I just don't see why, you know, someone wouldn't. You can also get the God packs in here, so that just adds another extra little like enticing flavor. Worst set, Obsidian Flames. That's probably pretty unanimous. Second best set, Paul D and Evolved, which I'm really bullish on. I love this set. Love the illustration rares. Second worst set, we're looking at base Scarlet and Violet. Just very boring set. And the third best set was very hard to choose. I had it between Twilight Masquerade and Paldean Fates. And even in a close like fourth, you could say Temporal Forces is pretty good because it has such amazing artwork. But I decided to go with the fresher, newer set of Twilight Masquerade just because it's... The big reason is because of the Carmine and Perrin cards. I think those are going to be pretty well chased cards for the future. And then the third worst set was very hard to choose because I don't necessarily hate Paradox Rift. This isn't Paradox Rift, hold on. I don't necessarily hate Paradox Rift. It's just a very average set in my opinion. And that's you know, that's pretty much what you got for it. All right, everyone. So that's what I got for you today. 3 top, 3 worst investment sets. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Give me your reasons why. And please go ahead and like and subscribe if you could. I would greatly appreciate that. I'm Elite4Yo here. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.